Welcome, everyone, back to another episode of Bookish Bites. And today we're here with author Andre A.J. Carter. Did I say that right? Andre Carter.
Did
And he is an amazing author. He said he's been writing from day one since he was six. So this is going to be a great conversation. We're deep diving into topics of relationships and discussing how to reignite that flame in the relationship. So I want to hear about longevity. Like, how do we keep it together? Because I think our generation don't know how.
ah,
Welcome.
thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being on my show.
I'm pleased to be here. Pleased to be
Yeah.
here.
So I
Um,
was able to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was gonna say,
Oh,
ask any question you like.
oh, okay. So I was able to, I confess I did not read your book, not all of it. I skimmed through. That's what we talked about before the show started. And you said a lot of things that you talked about. What I felt like you were leaning towards is maintain relationship. You said whatever you did to get that person is what you have to maintain. It's when we stop doing those things. It's when it's like the relationship begins to fall apart. Am I correct in saying that?
To some degree, to some
Okay.
degree,
Okay.
what I believe is that communication is what must be maintained because people develop and grow. So the same person that you think that you fell in love with a few years ago may not be the same person that you're dating today
That's true.
because that person has grown. Okay, so without the communication, how do you know the growth and where it's going and where you should be going?
That is
That's
true.
why communication is so important. So, you know, you have to sit up there and stay, talking not just about what's the best movie and things of that nature. But, those conversations are important too, only because you want to know what your mate is enjoying.
Mm.
So, but to find out where their head is and what's in it for you and all that type of stuff, that's all important.
Because I feel like maybe we tend to get too self-absorbed, and that kind of like you stop trying to learn about each other. You think you know everything about that person, and you stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The problem is
Wow.
this: we see so many different people. Like, for instance, just you're in school now.
Hmm.
In a school, whether it be high school, college, whatever, you see about 1,000 other people. Your
Yeah.
mate is only one person. So that person's view versus 1,000 other people's view, when you sit up there and you talking to these 1,000 people, you might find something that you actually enjoyed, some what somebody had said that your mate is not doing.
Hmm.
So now you're craving
Comparing.
something totally different. And if your mate
Mm.
is not communicating with you, they don't know what your new crave is.
That's true. That is true. That is very true. And then, what? Okay, but I also think like it's bad to compare in relationships. Like, oh well, my friend's husband does this. How come you don't do this for me? I mean
Let me
that's
tell
a
you
slippery
something.
slope.
It is a slippery slope, but you have to know exactly what you want in a relationship. And the most important part is not trying to change your mate, but accepting who they are at that time. And at that time, if you can accept who they are at that time, not who you want them to be or who you think they can become, if you can accept them at that time, then you have room to grow.
Mm.
because the acceptance is already there.
Yeah. Okay, that's something that I kind of discovered on my own with my own past relationships. I noticed that I would argue a lot, and I had a friend from years ago told me, she goes, "You got to learn to pick your arguments. Not everything's worth arguing over." And I
Exactly.
thought that stayed with me, that stuck with me. But then what I learned as I got older is that, why am I arguing with this person? It's and it does. It comes to either I'm trying to change them or they're trying to change me. That's where the
Right.
argument's coming in. I'm not
Right.
accepting them as they are in that moment. So yeah, that's that was a wake up for me. All the arguments stopped after that.
A friend of mine, a fellow author, I'm
Hmm.
not going to say names, we had
Okay.
a conversation yet just yesterday,
Oh wow.
and they were telling me about, you have to pick a mate on your level, such as, when guys say, this woman's a gold digger or something like that. Certain women are used to, she was saying certain women are used to a certain lifestyle or this or that or whatever, and this is what they like. And I said, yes, that might be true. But what the part that she left out, what I pointed out to her was a lot of women overrate themselves. And
Mm,
that's when a man calls them a gold digger. It's not that the woman is expensive. There's no such thing to me as expensive, because there's no such thing as when you went to the store and you purchased something that you actually wanted.
mm-hmm.
You didn't think about the price.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? Look at a guy with a
Hmm.
pair of Jordans. Some of these sneakers, my son has a pair of sneakers that go for $15,000.
Whew.
Okay?
Mm,
So when you talk about what people want and what they're willing to pay for, this sky's the limit. Okay?
yeah.
But are you giving them what they are paying for? See, when you're not giving them what they're paying for, that's when they consider you a gold digger. You see the
Oh,
difference?
yeah, yeah. Huh.
You see, you want this,
Mhm.
this, and that, but you're not reciprocating none of it. I'm telling you what
Yeah.
I want. You're just taking.
You just being a taker. Yeah.
You see the
Okay.
difference?
Yeah, that is a difference. Yeah.
If you're dating a man that's a multi-millionaire, he doesn't need you to pay rent. He doesn't need you to pay his mortgage. He doesn't need you to sit up there and paying his bills. That's not what he's looking for.
No.
But what he is looking for, if you're not providing it, but you're still accepting and still wanting and wanting and wanting and wanting, but not willing to compromise on his end what he wants, then yes, that's why you're considered a gold digger,
So it's
because
more
it's
like
a
just,
relationship,
yeah. So it's more like just being selfish.
right?
Yeah. Mm, I could see that. I could definitely see that. So what
Yeah,
does a $1 million man look for in a woman? Does it depend on the type of man he is?
it's every man is different.
Mm.
Okay, there's no such thing as put every millionaire in this box.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
some millionaires are self-made millionaires. They're the first ones in their family, so they don't
Hmm.
have anyone to sit up there and lean back on for knowledge on how to, manage money or anything else, or how to
Hmm.
manage relationships or anything, because they're the first.
Hmm.
You understand? So when you're
Yeah.
the first, everything that you learn is a learning experience.
That's true.
So now you have people that are millionaires that their great grandfather were millionaires, and the money was passed down, and money in his old money.
Hmm.
They never even had to do anything to earn it.
That's true.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's a their mindset is totally different from the self-made millionaire. They're
That's
two
true.
totally different people.
Hmm.
Both could be worth the same amount of money, two totally different people.
Different mentalities. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. So the with your book, The Manual, what was the thought process behind writing that book?
Hmm. Ha ha. That's a loaded question. Okay. What happened is this. I'm a, as they would say, a recovering sex addict. Okay.
Okay. Getting juicy
Uh,
now.
that's why it's loaded.
Yes.
Um, I'm a recovering sex addict,
Hmm.
and I don't mind telling people at this point. Um, I've been in therapy for a good 25 years.
Wow.
Um, and one of the things I've always wanted to sit up there and write. That's all I've been ever doing. Okay.
Hmm.
I started writing when I was 6.
Wow.
I went into the music industry, and I've been, rapping and writing and everything else. Um, from there, I went into poetry.
Hmm.
Okay, I've been inducted into the Library of Congress 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, number one in urban poetry three
Nice.
times. Number one in
Wow.
America.
Wow. Amazing. Wow.
So, um, you know, I was doing that, and then when I wanted to write a book, somebody told me that you should write what you know,
Oh,
and I
so
was
that.
thinking about what I knew the thoroughest. I said, what was I really, really good at?
Hmm.
And it was attracting women. I knew exactly. I knew exactly what to do. It's
Yeah.
like I had friends that would, because I was a sex addict, just
Hmm.
it's like anything else.
Mm.
Like if you take a crackhead, this
Hmm.
guy may not even have a job, but they know how to get that crack.
Mm. Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So same thing with sex addiction. When you when you're a sex addict, and I'm not talking about somebody that just likes a lot of sex, because there's a totally, totally, totally different thing.
Hmm.
Okay, sex addiction is not somebody who likes a lot of sex. Okay,
Yeah.
it's no,
It's
nothing
an
close.
actual. It's an actual addiction. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, so um, when I when I started doing that, I was like, I want to write about that because that's what I know.
Hmm.
I know, I mean, like I said, I had guys I used to go to club with. Uh, just to give an example, they would get phone numbers and things of that nature. I'd be going to the hotel.
Wow. Wow. You gotta have all that crap in the middle.
Big difference,
Oh,
So,
wow. Oh,
so that's what I decided to write about. I was like, wow, this is something that I'm very knowledgeable about, very very knowledgeable about, and
mhm.
I really started studying it and studying it and studying it. I got started getting certifications and licenses and all that type of stuff. And I was like, wow, this is for me.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I
Wow.
really enjoy doing. So that's what I wrote about.
And I believe that everything has a purpose behind it. So sometimes you think you're going down this path and you're like, why do I have this problem? Why do I have this addiction? But there's other people out there that you can help. You've overcome it. You're overcoming it every day, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
you can, yeah, there's lots that you can say to do to help other people who are dealing with it. So that I think that's pretty awesome.
I didn't know there was a problem until someone at a prior job I was working told me about it.
Really?
Yeah. Um, a woman, and I was maybe about 33 at the time.
Mhm.
A woman that was around 65 or so
Mhm.
came and told me that there's a rumor going around about me that, and I was working in the hospital at the time. They said, you slept with every woman in the hospital from the first to the 10th floor.
Dang.
And I was like,
You're like I
what?
did?
I did. I didn't. I never rationalized it before. I
Yeah.
saw a pretty woman. I was attracted to her. I pursued her.
Yeah.
Never thought about, anything else in between.
Wow.
Didn't think about the numbers, none of that.
Wow.
Never thought
Dang.
about it. And somebody went and pointed out. And if it was somebody my age that pointed it out, I would have probably
Yeah.
dismissed them, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was a woman that, she didn't want me,
Mhm.
didn't want it, it wasn't like that. It was somebody really telling me something that she thought I should know, trying to educate
So
me on my lifestyle.
so what did you do after learning that? Did you go to seek help or did you just sit on it
Most
for a
definitely,
little bit?
right
Oh,
away.
you went. Yeah. Oh,
Right away,
wow.
I started seeking help. Yeah, that's when I
Wow.
started therapy. Um, I'm the type of person that doesn't like being labeled.
Mm.
So all you have to do is mention the label, and I
And
do a
you.
flip flop.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Wow.
I mean I used to drink a lot,
Mhm.
and I used to drink every single day. Okay,
Wow.
and my dad once pointed out to me that if you have to drink every day, you're an alcoholic.
Wow.
From that day, never went to AA or nothing like that.
You just
I
cut.
stopped drinking.
Wow. That's some
But
strong
that's all
willpower
you have
too.
to do.
Yeah, yeah. Because
All
you
you
don't
have to
want
do is
that
measure it,
label.
and boom, oh, that's it.
Wow. I know, like, okay, so another question I have is, do you find is it okay, so like my ex-husband, he was a recovering alcoholic,
Okay,
and what he had told me is when he recovered, one of the things they told him in AA is that he had to stop smoking also. He used to smoke cigarettes. So he had to stop smoking, he had to stop drinking, of course, and all the extra stuff he used to do. But what he had learned through going through the process is that he has an addictive personality. That
okay,
there's anything that feels good to him, he could become addicted to. So, you
okay,
know how they say knowing is half the battle. So for him, it's just him being aware of that. It's what kind of kept him. So he cut out smoking. He cut everything. And the second something like triggered that addictive personality that he had, he would start cutting it out,
right,
or controlling it. And I was like, I didn't know, because I never heard of people like, oh, they're addicted to cigarettes, they're addicted to drinking, and there's different things. But it really came down to the root of it. He had an addictive personality, and that's so
okay,
he had to be careful with everything. He said he could become a sex addict. He could become any of those because it's not it's just whatever, what I'm saying? It was just in his personality. And I thought that was really interesting. It was really interesting. Did you have a similar experience? Did you realize that it's like having an addictive personality? But it seems your willpower seems very, very strong, if you ask me.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
have a notorious willpower. I'm
Yeah.
lucky enough to be blessed with that.
Amen.
Um, I refuse to be second. period, on anything.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
And that's been like that all my life.
Yeah.
In sports, I was state champion in swimming.
Wow.
Um, so I mean, this is like that's my personality, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I right now as a regular job, I work for a rug manufacturer, and I'm number one in the country.
Oh wow. You're
Okay,
competitive.
I I'm very competitive. That's what it
Yeah.
comes down to. I'm very competitive. I've always believed that even second place, the first place loser,
Wow. Yeah.
that the first one who lost. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. We last first.
you
Oh
know,
my god. Yeah.
so
That's a good way to look at it, I guess.
I'm just saying.
Oh wow, that's interesting. So then, yeah, so then you're gonna really go hard in whatever you put your mind to. You're gonna really.
Exactly. That's all.
I get it. I get that. I respect that. So tell me about you have how many books do you have?
Okay. Currently I have three, three, three books. Yeah,
Three
three.
books? Okay. You like
Hmm.
me. I
And
don't know how many books I have. I
I have ghostwritten a few.
okay.
I have I have two or three others that I helped write.
Okay.
Like I have a part in the book or whatever,
Yeah,
that type of
yeah.
thing. I have other books that I have poetry included in.
Mm.
I have magazines that I have poetry included in.
There's a lot of publications. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot, It's no I couldn't sit down and really give an exact number of anything, like I said, I've been
Yeah.
writing forever, you
Yeah.
know.
That's cool.
Uh, I have over 30 copywritten songs. So,
Wow.
it's like I've been writing forever.
Wow, you have an impressive resume. That's it. You have an impressive resume, a portfolio.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So, and all of the three books that you have that are just you that you wrote, is it all nonfiction or is it
Yes.
any of them? It's all nonfiction.
Hmm.
Okay. And are they all about relationships?
Um, one is about relationships,
Oh, okay.
and mostly all the rest that I'm going to write from here
Hmm.
will be about relationships.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about,
So,
finding your niche.
yeah, no, you're right. And then, yeah, no, you're right. If that's your thing and that's what you really know very well, which we had conversations before, you know that very well. You gave me some really great advice.
Well, thank you.
So I am grateful for that. Yes. So now I forgot my question. I was, oh, what do you think about today's modern relationships, like the way that relationships are today? What's your
Well,
analysis?
when you say the way relationships are today, you have to really, give me a better example because I don't know about what young people are doing today because I haven't been young for quite some time. So, but you have to
Well,
get it.
well, I mean, like today, I think me personally, I think like people aren't, they don't get, if they do get married, it's like they don't get married to stay together. It's almost like we're gonna see how long this lasts, you know? And or there's just like there's no real true commitment to a relationship anymore. There's no like real goal, as in I'm gonna date to get married. Sometimes it's just dating just to not be lonely, dating just to have fun, or sometimes it's open dating, you know?
Right.
There's just all these things, you know. I had a friend in high school, which I really respect what she said. She went on dates. She didn't, now there was no intimacy or anything like that. She just went on dates. When she found a guy that she really liked, then she kind of had like an old school mentality when it came to dating. She's like, she just, and she literally, they come pick her up from her house, they meet her parents, she go on a date, she come back home, you know?
Okay.
And she would date like three or four different guys in a week. But for us at that time in school, we are like, when you go on one date with somebody, like that's your boyfriend. That's it. Like you're always with that person until you two break up. And I think we did it wrong. I think she had it right. Like you're not supposed to be taking it so seriously at that young of an age. And I think when I look back, I think that that kind of sent all of us off course because we had this attitude like you go on one date with somebody that you guys are together now. That's it. And it should have
Well,
been because yeah.
there's many ways to look at both sides.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, I've heard it said that if you don't date a lot, then you never see the different people and you don't know exactly, you might not know exactly what's out there.
Right.
Okay. I've heard it said that way. I've also heard it
Hmm.
said that if you do date a lot and you're dating multiple people, you have too many choices.
Hmm.
Whereas, therefore, you're never satisfied with the person that you're with because they're not doing what the last person did or whatever the situation may be. So you have too much comparison.
Yeah. Oh.
You see, and there's
Wow.
that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom, I used to, my mom cracks me up, but she used to tell me when she was younger and she was dating that she would go on a date with a guy, and if she didn't like whatever he did on the date, whatever it is, whatever he did that he did wrong on the date, she said I would never say anything in front of him or correct him or anything like that. She would
Hmm.
continue the date. He drops her off. She said I gave him like 30 minutes to get home, and we lived in New York. She gave him like 30 minutes to get home. And she said when he got home, she would call him and said, "Okay, you got home safe?" Like, "Yeah, I got home safe." And she said, "Okay, I don't think this is going to work out." She'll say, "I don't think this is going to get, work. I mean, as sweet as can be, I don't think this is going to work out. It was
Yeah.
nice. It was a nice evening. I had a great time, but I don't think we're right for each other." And that's how
And you know
she
what?
would.
I respect
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wish more women would do that actually
yeah.
because, what happens is for me,
Hmm.
if you don't like what I'm bringing to the table, then you're playing with my heart basically because
Yeah.
eventually it's going to break up. It's things and you're going to sit up there and get tired of whatever I'm doing wrong.
Mhm. Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? You knew it wasn't for you in the very beginning,
Mhm.
but you never said anything because maybe you were lonely or whatever the situation. Maybe you
Whatever.
needed companionship, whatever the situation may be, and you didn't speak up.
Right.
Now I'm falling for you because the more we're together, the more connected I become. You
Right.
understand? Now you break my heart after you tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. And and you don't know the mental state of that person. And so that's why she used to wait till they got home, they were safe, and she'd tell them then, "You guys, it's not in front of each other. You're not hurting his pride and his face or whatever. There's that
Hmm.
safety with the distance because everybody's different."
Right.
So,
Yeah. It is so
you
true.
know, yeah, yeah, because a lot of people are, I know, like, for example, in South Korea, a lot of women are actually getting unalived because of breaking up
Women,
with their boyfriend.
women are getting a what? What you said? What was that word you used?
Unalived. The social media thing, they don't like you saying the K word or the M word, so we say unalived
I
or ended
heard
or
that.
deleted.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's an issue that's and you see a lot here. I mean, that's all through history. That's been going on for years. Of sometimes a man will turn on a woman and harm her for rejecting him or hurting her. So I liked what my mom did because I thought that was actually pretty wise. You
Yeah, it
know,
was.
you didn't lead him on.
She's home
Yeah.
safe.
Hmm.
He's at a safe distance,
Yep.
and you're gonna say whatever you want to say.
Yep. She
That's
wasn't
it.
disrespectful. She was very
Right.
kind, and she just made it clear. I
Yeah.
was like, that was some really good communication.
Right. It was.
Yeah.
It's excellent communication
Yeah. Yeah.
because she was home
So,
safe, where she didn't have to worry about the repercussions of anything that was said that he didn't like or whatever. She was
yep.
in a safe environment at a safe
Yep.
distance.
And
So,
see,
and she told him,
yeah,
"Hey, this wasn't going to work for me.
it's not gonna work. That's it. I can
Do
respect
what
that.
you wanted, and that wasn't it."
Yep. Yeah. So a lot of us don't know what we want. We really don't. Like
Right.
if you were to ask me what do I want in a man, it might take me a minute. I probably describe one of the characters from my books because obviously that's what I look for in a man because I'm writing about.
Well, I
You
get
know.
I get exactly what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
it's like people write about their fantasies.
Right. Right.
I get that.
Right.
Are you
And I
dating?
do see. Yeah. I'm in a situationship. That's what I call it.
The way you said that, I think you
Yes.
might want to edit that part.
Normally, I've given up. It's whatever. It's whatever. I and the thing with me too, it's like when I was married, the reason why my marriage ended was because I wrote my first book. He did not accept me wanting to write. And that's when I learned like I didn't know about things like narcissism back then. And
Right.
that's when I discovered that he was narcissistic. So had I wrote a book about him, oh, we'd be together today. And that book would be number one bestseller because he's gonna put all the money he can behind it to make sure it's number one. So if I had known then what I know now, maybe I should have wrote the first book about him. But my for me, the first book I wrote, I actually started writing this book in middle school. So I decided to rewrite that story. So that story was already like always living with me. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't like that has to be my first book. But yeah, though our marriage ended violently because I wrote a book. So
You
he
said
went
violently.
to have yep, he turned on me violently.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. I'm so sorry about
yeah,
that.
yeah. So after that, I was just kind of like, eh. And then I'm see for me, reason why it makes it hard for what I believe it's hard for me to say I know what kind of man I want. For example, just use my mom as the example. She was raised with both her mother and her father, old school. They're Trinidadian. Even though my grandfather used to step out a lot, like my grandma said, he may have stepped out, but he knew to be home before 9 o'clock. That was her thing. Like she didn't care. As long as he's home before 9 o'clock to help her with them 7 kids, she was fine. She and I even like I would be like, Mom, like, didn't it hurt? Like she's like, no. She goes, I don't want to be doing that all the time. So let him go outside and get it all the time. I was like, it's just a whole different mentality. Just a whole
Yeah,
different mentality.
definite different
Yeah.
mentality because
Right,
I
right.
don't think I would have wanted that. I'm
No, me
not
neither.
I'm not a sharer. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my thing. You know,
My
I mean,
grandmother was
a woman
like,
is a woman, period.
yeah. That was an eye opener for me with my grandmother because I was like, okay, but I'm looking at it, her point of view, she has all these kids. They got 7 kids. Back in those days they didn't use protection, not like how we use protection today. You're married, So she probably at one point just got tired of having kids, tired of bedroom Olympics, just tired of it. So she's like, you never know. He could have been a sex addict. My grandfather could have been a sex addict because like he was
Well,
out there.
I won't say all of that. What I will say is that entertainment today is totally
Mhm.
different. You have video games, you have all the different bars, clubs, movies, the screen TVs at home, radio, podcasts, all different types of things that you can do to entertain yourself.
Yeah,
Back then, you didn't have a lot, especially for black people.
that's true. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
true.
what they did do is have sex.
Wow.
So that's why when you go back to your grandmother's time and people before that, like my grandmother had 10 kids. Her
Wow.
mother had 12.
Jeez.
You understand
Wow.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the times are different.
It
People
is.
don't you don't see that happen too often anymore,
Mm-mm.
but
Yeah, we got a lot of other stuff to do.
back then, huh?
Yeah. We have a lot of other stuff to do nowadays. That's true.
Right. Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, she had. Now, my grandmother, okay, so she's from Trinidad. Well, she's actually from St. Vincent.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
And oh, that's on your side.
Yeah.
And she was born into slavery. It ended when she was 5. Because in the
Okay.
island, the Caribbean, it ended later. It started later and ended later than it did here in America. So when she was 5, they packed up and they left and they moved to Trinidad. So I feel like just her whole mentality is different just from that experience. Even if it was just she was only 5 years old, she was from birth to 5 years old, but she still remembers. And she would talk, but she didn't talk enough. And that's one thing. That's one issue that I have with elders. It's like I feel like sometimes they don't talk enough about these things, and this is why
Right.
we don't know. So we end up falling to the same trap.
Exactly.
But
Yes.
yeah, my grandmother did. She did talk. She just like she'll tell me things that she remembered working in the kitchen because she was light skinned. Her and her mom were both light skinned. They're very fair, and they worked in the kitchen. So she remembers looking out to the field, and I believe her father was out in the field, working out in the field. If I'm correct, so her father was dark skinned. They were light skinned. Her mom and her were light skinned. So, but she said when it ended, her father was supposed to meet up with them in Trinidad, and he didn't. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know where did he went, but she never saw him again or something like that. So I feel like she just kind of like internalized a lot of pain and became numb through life. So that dealing with that with my grandfather must have been like whatever, you know. She
He
was
could
kind
have
of
been
numb.
killed. He could have
Yeah,
easily been
he
killed.
could have been. He could
Yeah,
have.
because they
We
were
don't know
lynching
what.
black people
Yeah,
back then.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, I mean, even up to like 1980,
Hmm.
when I went to high school, um, I was I was going to a school at least for 1 year anyway. The
Hmm.
first year I went to high school, um, that was when they first bussed in the black people. Now I don't know if you
Oh.
heard of busing, but
Mm-mm.
busing is when they take kids from another district
Hmm.
and bring them into
Oh.
another community.
Okay.
That
Okay.
okay, this community this school was all white. They were trying to desegregate the school. I mean,
Oh yeah.
okay. So they bust in black people.
Hmm.
The white people didn't like that,
Mm.
and there were riots. When I tell you every day, I mean every single day. Every day.
Wow.
Um,
Jeez.
one of my friends got killed during
Mm,
this riot.
wow.
Yeah.
Mm,
So, the racial tension is like deep.
it's hard. Yeah.
You think about even what when Trump was president last time and all the
Mm.
racial tension that was released, and people were like, they were always racist, but
They're
now
always,
they're
yeah.
free to
They
be
had a
racist.
platform.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Now it's okay to be a racist, so they
Yeah.
were free with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And they don't want to let that go for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm okay. So I'm working on a book. I know we talk about all kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. I'm working on a book called Rosewood, and
Okay.
it's spin off from my other book, Forbidden. I don't know if you heard about the book that I wrote called Forbidden,
Okay.
and Forbidden kind of led into Rosewood, but basically in writing and doing my research, I looked at the different towns that were destroyed and how many towns, you know, there's just like it's way more than what they talk about. There's
Almost
towns that people
definitely.
have never even, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. And but my thing was, were we better off when we were segregated, or were we, because the towns were thriving. They were
Right.
thriving.
Right.
And that's like one thing that we have seriously lost is supporting each other. It's like a mental block
Right.
for us to support each other. And like our money does not stay in our community. It's there for 2 seconds, if any, and it's straight out. And then, but back then it's like you only were allowed to buy from other black vendors.
Right.
So, and I feel like that's why they burned down the town. That's why they decided to desegregate, because they were black town, and they weren't just black, they were black and natives working and living together, because those are the two they want nothing to do with.
Right. But keep in mind, now
Right.
they burnt down the towns because they were not getting the black dollar.
Right.
Okay. Now, when you think about the black dollar, they say we spend $6 trillion per year.
Wow.
That's a lot of
Today
money
or back, or was it back
today.
then, or today?
Today, we
Wow.
spend $6 trillion a year, and and to miss out on all that money, that was the
Hmm.
problem.
That's what, yeah, yeah. Green talks.
They-
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you know, unfortunately, we're not smart enough to know that we need each other. We
Hmm.
like to sit up there and if one of us makes it, instead of asking, how did you make it,
Wow.
how can I follow in your footsteps, we rather rob that person.
Right. How can I
Now,
destroy you? How can I break you down? Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Hmm.
If you rob me, you might be lucky enough to get $200 or $300. That I wouldn't carry more than that at any given
Hmm.
time anyway.
Hmm.
So you're getting that $200 or $300 and taking my life for it. Now you got other people that were getting a lot more because I
Hmm.
was supporting them. So you
Hmm.
destroyed not just my life, but you destroyed a lot of other people's lives
Right.
over $200 or $300.
Yeah. And then you're gonna get caught and go to jail anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What did you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
But tear your people up.
Hmm.
That's all you did. Because you got to keep in
Yeah.
mind that
Hmm.
when a man is supporting his family, he might have 3 or 4 kids,
Hmm.
and now if you take away that father who's
Yeah.
supporting those 3 or 4 kids plus a wife, you done destroyed 5 people
And yeah, in a
in,
couple
in,
generations. Yeah. Yeah.
You see,
Yeah, and
people don't
I'm
think
a
about that whole
you don't
thing.
think about that. No.
No.
And that's another thing I'm a big advocate for is the father being in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like even like in my situation, my youngest, her dad is not in the picture. Not all 100%, just bad things happened, and he can't be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that is one thing that I can say in the situationship that I'm in. I do respect and appreciate. Like he is a good man. He's a good man. He takes care of us. We want for nothing, you know.
Okay.
So that like that's not the issue for me at all. Like there's nothing that I want for. He is really good. And especially with my daughter, like she's safe. And I think that's so much more important than anything that I may want, because what I might want may be little, honestly, may come, if I really boil it down, is probably frivolous little spoiled child things. But for my daughter, for what she's getting, I think that's, I love it. I
Well,
love that. That's a payoff for me.
right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think that there is no such thing as something small and frivolous. Okay, because it's what you want. Okay, everybody is different. What's small and frivolous to one person may be something big to another.
That's
You know,
true.
as they say, another man's garbage is another man's treasure.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This is
Yeah.
true. It's true. Yeah. So, yeah. But that's one thing. I don't know. It's just I always look at all these different things, and I look at like what I've been through. The relationships I've been in the past were just, they started out great, went horrible. So I'm like, but I never had my father, since my father wasn't in the picture. I don't think I had, and even if he wasn't in the picture, I don't know how he would have been. He may have been a horrible example. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, I don't have like that. This is what I saw in my father, so this is what I'm looking for. Like seeing how my father treated my mother. I don't have
Hmm.
that, and I think a lot of people don't have that. They don't, so they don't know what to look for. And I've only discovered what I'm looking for because I write, and
Okay.
writing makes you. And I write about, it's all fiction, but it's relationships. And
Okay.
I think through my writing is what helped me discover, and that's the only reason why I have an issue now. Had I not been writing as much as I have, I probably wouldn't have known any better. I would have been a happy fool.
Hmm. Like
But
most people.
because I write, yeah, because I write and I research and I analyze, I'm like, I kind of would like this. I would like to experience that. So
Hmm.
I think, but I think a lot of people, like, we don't really know what to look for in a man. So when we're dating, we tend to pick whoever says the right thing at the right time.
Right.
You
Whatever,
know?
whoever fills in the gaps of what we need at that moment.
Yeah, yeah. And if he's really
Yeah.
good at reading and seeing what you're looking for, what you're missing, better than you are, then you know,
Hey,
just makes him all the smoother at talking.
that's it. That's it. That's so
Yeah.
true.
So we're supposed to be talking about longevity in a relationship. What
Okay.
makes the relationship last? Is it first picking the right partner, or can you
Um,
make it work with whoever you with?
No, you cannot make it work with whoever you're with. It first starts, you see, it's like this. You cannot make a good, let's say, for instance, if I'm trying to, what's a good analogy? If I'm trying to build a house, right?
Hmm.
Most people are looking for people that have the same things that they have in common.
Mm,
You got bricks, I got bricks. Oh, we're a perfect combination. Let's
mm,
let's build this.
yeah.
But that doesn't work. because building a house takes bricks, cement, sand, wood,
Mhm.
all these different things come into play when building a house, and one without the other,
It's not gonna work.
right? So you first have to start with the foundation, okay, and then you
Hmm.
can build up from that foundation. Without the foundation, you got nothing. So that's why I say you can't just pick anybody and do it. You have to
Yeah.
actually know what you want. Take the time to write down who you who you are, what it is you desire, and you know, forget about what other people are talking about and things like that, because that's the big one of the biggest problems with, and social media is a big, you know, problem with
Yeah.
this. Everybody's looking at social media. People are looking at fake pictures and stuff like that, where
Yeah.
somebody's saying that you living this lifestyle, that lifestyle, and they're really not. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
Photoshop pictures and all type of stuff. You know, so
Yeah.
when you're looking at a fake life and you're thinking, "Oh, that's the life I want,"
That's a fake life. You want a fake life?
right? Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the first thing you have to realize is that everything takes a foundation. Know what
Hmm.
you want. Start with you.
Yeah.
What are you bringing to the table? What kind
Mm.
of lifestyle do you want? A lot of women say they want a man with a whole lot of money. They want a man to, to who spends a lot of time with them and things of that nature. Now, keep in mind that if he makes a lot of money, he's not
Yes.
spending a lot of time with you. How is
No.
he making the money?
Yes, he can't.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
either one or the other. These are why this is why you have to really research what you want,
Mm.
know what you want. Because a lot of times all these things that you want can't be combined together.
That's true. Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's
I
impossible.
can't make money and be home at the same time.
Be home. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Even if they're working from home, they're still have their mind has to be on work to make that money.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, they can't be attentive 24/7.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I agree. I
And
agree. That's one thing I
and
hate when
that's
I hear people say that. Yeah,
yeah. People forget that part,
yeah, they do.
you know.
Oh, he makes money, but he never spends any time with me. Well, then, honey, you need to pick one.
Exactly.
You need to pick one. I agree with
Yeah.
that. I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you want somebody that's home with you, then you need to pick a man with a regular job.
yeah.
He can make he can make $80,000 or whatever and still be home with you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's still a decent living when you combine the both incomes.
Yep. 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 Nice life.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Oh my
So
gosh, that's that.
you have to really consider all of those things.
So what
When you
about like sorry.
go ahead.
What about like when they do arranged marriages? Do they just happen to work because by chance? I know they don't always work out though.
They
They
don't
don't
always
always
work
work out.
out. They don't
No.
always work out. No.
No.
Let me tell you something. I got a guy I know. He's from Africa,
Mhm.
and he he has a fiance
Mhm.
because due to an arranged marriage where he has to pay the father a certain amount of money and this and that. And he's sending money to Africa, this and that. You know,
Yeah.
but now keep in mind this guy stays with prostitutes on a regular basis.
Wow. Wow, that's scary to me.
I'm just saying.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
So are we saying that arranged marriage is the way to go? It doesn't work. I mean, if for me, if I didn't choose the woman, it's kind of hard for me to believe that
It's gonna work out.
it's going to work out because
Yeah.
it's not my choice, it's your choice.
Yeah. That's
You
true.
understand what I'm saying? And your
Yeah.
choice is not necessarily my choice. And your choice does not mean that she's going to have all the um, accoutrements that I would like in a
Mhm.
wife.
Mm.
You just picked something that you thought would be good for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And it's normally the parents picking, so
Yeah,
yeah. Wow.
I've had my parents
Ew.
mess up relationships. I'm still crying about today. I'm like, why did I listen to them? You
Oh
know,
my God.
good
Yeah.
women, because they saw something that, they didn't like. And because they
Mhm.
were my parents, I went along with it.
And see, that's something I write about that stuff too. And yeah, the middle mother-in-law and things like that, or parents trying to decide who their kids are going to be with, and I realizing right now, like you're as a parent, you don't know your child intimately. You don't
Right.
really know what they really the type of partner they really want. So, and I just feel like that's kind of an area that we should not be stepping in. Be there for
Right.
them, if things don't work out, but not in a way where you're like, I told you so.
Right.
you know, we got to
Exactly.
learn, that, yeah, and I get it. Like sometimes, I don't know, relationship is hard because they say, like, well, you got to learn. So you got to go into these things. But I don't know, sometimes you can get hurt. I don't know at what point as a parent do you step in if a situation becomes dangerous. For example, if your daughter's dating someone who you're seeing signs because you've been through abuse. I'm like, okay, that's a telltale sign right there. He said this or he did that. I think that's a part where a parent should step in because your child is physically in danger. But
Well,
other than
yeah,
that,
physically in
yeah,
danger, I would step in.
yeah,
Let's say if somebody physically put their hands on my daughter,
yeah,
I don't know if there's anywhere in the country they could run to.
exactly,
Honestly.
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I think other than that, just I don't like her because she wore green. I don't know, just
Yeah.
all the other things, or I don't like her because her whatever, her ethnicity or whatever. I think that
Right. It's
parents
the
should just keep it to
ethnicity.
yourself.
They don't
Yeah,
like the way she dresses,
yeah,
things of that nature,
yeah,
and everything to me, you know, you have to realize that your parents are older,
yeah.
they're from a different generation.
True.
Now, just to give you an idea, what I'm talking about is like, like I said, I sell rugs. When
Mhm.
an older person comes in and they want to purchase a rug and they ask, oh, let me ask my daughter what she thinks of this rug, they're going to get a negative response
Of
because
course.
of what the younger daughter,
Mhm.
what she's used to and what the parent is used to and what the
Two
parent
different things.
actually wants. The parent is not
Yeah.
19 years old anymore. So she doesn't
No.
want the same things as a 19-year-old.
Right.
But they're asking a 19-year-old's opinion. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's true. I think on some level I'm probably guilty of it too. I'll be asking my daughter's 12. My youngest is 12. And I'll be asking her, "What do you think about this?" She's like, "Ew."
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
ugly.
right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the thing that she likes is not with the same things you like.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
So when a parent talks about
You've got mail. You've got
your
mail.
your date's outfit or whatever the situation may be. Keep in
Hmm.
mind they come from a different time.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very true. It is. I don't know. Relationships are complicated, but I see like it's gets really getting to know yourself and understanding what you're looking for and not being afraid to voice that in a respectful way. Like everybody's not for you,
right.
and maybe we don't need to test drive everybody. Too much test driving going on.
Definitely.
Just I always loved that about my mom. She would date and okay, no, he did this, that, or the other, and it could be a little thing, but she didn't
But
want to deal with it.
right, you know what your limitations are, and that's the
Yeah,
most important part. That's why I said write down
yeah,
what you really want and knowing
yeah,
yourself what you want to bring to the table, what you want your mate to bring to the table. People talk about, oh, he shouldn't have a list of this and that. If you don't have this list, how do you know what you want?
yeah, yeah. He
You
has
never
to
got a
know.
chance to ever actually learn yourself.
Yeah,
The first
and that
step
would
in,
help you. Yeah,
right, that's your first step. Having a foundation,
yeah.
knowing what you want
Right,
is if
right.
you know what you want, then it's easier to find the person that's right for you because you know what you want. You know what
Yeah,
this you already see what this person is bringing to the table.
and see, and as I'm writing my characters, I get that with both sides. The female knows what she wants, and the male knows what he wants. And I was like, it's so easy. It's so clear when you, I know they say writers a little bit, we walk that fine line of insanity, but because we do people watching a lot and you have to analyze a lot, it makes a lot of sense. Like everything you're saying is spot on because it is very clear in the female character's mind. A lot of times it's very clear what she does want and what she doesn't want. And
Right.
I sense it as I'm writing that character. So what she looked at, what attracted her and what turned her off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
and chances are those things, at least the foundation of it, is not going to change too much.
No. No, it's not. No.
So
Yeah.
that's where it starts.
Yeah. So tell everyone where they can purchase your book, your
Oh,
books.
I'm on Amazon. Andre
Amazon.
AJ Carter. You can find me
Okay.
on Amazon. You can find me on Barnes and Nobles.
Nice.
You know,
And your
hey,
first book is called Manual.
um, it's called the Manual, the
The
Relationship for
Manual.
Men. That's loved by women. Here it is, right here,
Nice.
folks. Get your copy.
Nice.
Hmm.
And then what's the other two called?
Okay, I got one called GPS.
GPS. Okay.
Okay, that's the guided planner to success.
Ooh, I
Okay.
might need that one.
Yes, because I like to mentor people.
Yeah.
I do a
Yeah.
lot of that. I do a lot of that. Especially high school students and college students. I do a lot of mentoring.
Mental. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I might
So,
have to. Yeah, we have to look
huh?
into your mentoring. I'm gonna have to look into your mentor services.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Oh my gosh. And then you have one more book, right? What's the third one?
Okay. The third one, you're not going to be able to purchase this.
Oh.
I wrote a book for a real estate company on
Oh,
how
okay.
how to purchase more homes, and it's
Oh,
there. You have to work for that real estate company in order
okay.
to.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, no, that's cool.
yeah.
Okay, well, don't go anywhere. Stay here. We're gonna end the live. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for watching and staying to the end. And we hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions, please comment below, and we will do our best to answer them. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay.